Can you retire with $1 million? This is certainly a question that many people are asking themselves today. We're actually going to go in and look at not only can you retire on $1 million, but we're going to look at different ages. Can you retire at 55, 60, 65 on $1 million? What about your budget? We're going to move that around too, your living expense. What about your social security strategy? We're going to move that around as well as we look to answer this question. Hello, my name is Tommy Cloud. I am president of Third Act Retirement Planning. It's a company that I started back in 2000. I'm also a certified financial planner and qualified kingdom advisor. Let's go ahead and dive in and take a look and see if you can retire with $1 million. All right, so let's just dive right in here. We're looking at, to give you a backdrop, we're looking at Frank and Susie here. They're married, and you can see their ages are 67 and 64. We're going to list them as both retired, and we're going to have them living in Oklahoma. So that's going to be kind of basis for where our starting point is. So you'll know that as we continue to look at different items on Frank and Susie at this particular age. What is their net worth? Let's look at that real quickly, just so you can understand that. They've got $1 million in investable assets, which we talked about. They have, as you can see, a home that's worth about $700,000, and they've got a real estate loan on a mortgage on it for $179. Anyway, their net worth ends up being about $1.5 million, and their investable assets are $1 million. So keep that in the back of your mind as you're seeing us work through some scenarios with Frank and Susie. All right, let's start in on them here at the age of 67 and 64. You can see that the basic calculations I used during retirement, that they would be making 60% on their money. Excuse me, not 6% on their money. And that the base inflation rate I have down here at 2.5, certainly was higher than that in 2022, as we know. We get into healthcare here. We're going to pause on that one in a moment. We're going to come back to the healthcare and look at some of the details there and make sure that we explain that well. And then you can see their age here. We have them living to age 90. So that's a pretty good age. The average age for a woman is 80 years old in the US, and the average age for a man is 76. So as you can see here, this is the healthcare cost I wanted to show you. We have Frank retiring this year in 2024. And you can see kind of the assumptions that we're making on Medicare Part B and Part D based on their income, their out of pocket, and then their total with Frank here, and then how it looked for Susie as well. And for both of them, 10,600 is what we're budgeting the first year. So we do want to make sure, I think it's important to be very conservative with the budgeting when you're thinking about retiring. And so we make sure that we put in nice big numbers, the medical portion of it. You can see their ages here, 68, 66. And so it just continues on down. And you can see the cost of, with the base inflation riders in there, probably the help is going to be a little more. So eventually it gets up to where it's the annual amount is pretty high as they get towards their late 80s. But that's what we have budgeted, just so you know that what's going on there when you see the healthcare cost. You can take a moment to look at this tab and see what we forecast in there. So we want to come back and we really want to look here back at the scenario, 90 years old, living to age 90 for both of them, 10 years past the average age for a woman and 14 years past the average age for a man. And we have them in today's dollars living off of 83,700 a year. We can see that they want to travel starting, and we'll start that in 2024. Travel $6,000 per year. And then they want to buy a second home here. The year this is being done is 2024. So this will be in 2 years. They want to put $100,000 into a vacation home with their daughter, a nice place that they think they can find there, and select that. Frank is getting some veterans income there as a VA. He's getting about $2,000 a year until he passes away at age 90 on this plan. And we're just going to start out with Social Security at full retirement age, which will be 66 years and 11 months for both of them. He'll get 36,000. She'll get 25,200. So looking at that is going to be pretty basic there. And so then we scroll down here, and those are our assumptions. So you have all the assumptions there: starting Social Security, the normal age, living to age 90, 83,700 is the living expenses as they're both retired now. Those are the most important things. Adding in the healthcare, we've looked at all that. So how does this plan work? We can see it works very well. And so what I talked about though is we want to see if we can make this plan work with different types of scenarios. So this is just our first scenario. So it does work for them to retire at the age of 67 and 64 today, and for them to live to age 90, and with all that they have going on, it works. And the main reason it works is because their living expenses are 83.7, and they have a portfolio of $1 million. And we'll talk about that as well. And that's the main reason that it works. And then their Social Security, if we look down at their Social Security when they retire, their Social Security is going to end up paying close to what their budget is. So that's 36,000. It's going to be paying about $61,000 of the 83.7. So we can see that they're already off and running and off to a good start with their retirement plan. But we're going to change some scenarios around. Let's put some stress on this. Okay. We've made them younger. They're now 62 and 59. And we're going to go ahead and look how things look with them retiring 5 years sooner now. Again, this is age 62 for Frank and 59 for Susie, a little bit younger. Let's see how things work out now. We'll hit calculate scenario here, and we'll come on down. We're still going to have them live to be age 90. We're going to have their living expenses in today's dollars be 83,700. And we will start their travel this year as well. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if things still look good for Frank and Susie to retire at a younger age. Nope. So there it is, zero probability. You can see that. So let's make some changes here. What would we have to change? The most important thing that we would want to change would be this amount right here. Instead of them having a budget of, we'll say 83,000, let's lower it down to 75,000. Let's see if they could retire earlier at $75,000 a year budget in today's dollars. So this will inflate up 1% chance. Now, here again, the main reason this isn't working is because we're talking about retiring at the age of 59 and living to 90. So that's 41 years that they would like to do that. Let's go down here and see if anything else will make a difference. We could, this second home here, for example. Let's say, for example, they don't purchase the second home with their daughter. We're just going to put that 0. Let's see if that helps. That really jumps them up to 44% chance. So take the home out. This is if they want to retire 5 years earlier. And let's look at, of course, we're not going to change the VA income. And instead of starting at age 67, let's start at as soon as possible. Let's try that, which is going to be, 62. Let's try that. Let's start the Social Security earlier and see if that helps. Get them into a comfortable zone. No, that actually lowered it. So if they started Social Security at age 62, instead of 66 years and 11 months, it went from 44% confidence that they're going to be able to live to age 90 to only 31% confidence. And this includes market crashes. And we have ways to deal with that as well, which really makes our plans even more solid, where you can participate with the market upswings without the downswings, and all the market upswings without being locked into an annuity forever or at all. But that's a different discussion. We're talking about just normal working our way through it with the crashes and the ups and downs and what would happen. So we're not going to start at 62 years. Let's do this. Let's start at 70 instead of 66. We tried 62. Let's try starting Social Security at 70 and see how that impacts the plan. All right. Let's jump it up to 49. So we were at 44% chance of succeeding if they start at age 66 years and 11 months. We changed it to 62, start Social Security at 62, and the probability of them making it to age 90 and not running out of money and living comfortably on their $75,000 a year budget in today's dollars, it will go up, was only a 31% chance. And now that we changed it to age 70 for Social Security, it took us up to a 49% chance. So There's not much we can do here to make this plan work. Of course, other things we can do is to lower the amount they're spending each year. If they want to retire at this age, let's change it to 70,000 and see if that works. That works. So we simply just change their budget down to 70,000 for them to be able to retire here at age 62 for the man and 59 for Susie. Keep in mind, this plan has them living to age 90. So they will be retired for, in the case of Susie, it'll be 41 years. And in the case of Frank, it's going to be 38 years that he'll be retired and living off of just what he has, the income from his investment. So as we can see, it's definitely doable if they want to move that up, and they'll have to lower their income to 70,000. They can't buy that home. They can't put $100,000 in with their daughter, Jenny, in 2 years. They can't do that. They can continue to travel though. They can take, this is in addition to the 70,000. So their true budget would be 76,000. And keep in mind, we have also used the details in here. And so really to have $70,000 to spend on whatever they want, that does not include healthcare. And so we already looked at the healthcare and you saw the budget for healthcare. So really what they're looking at with travel and healthcare year one, they're probably looking at close to $90,000 when you include healthcare and their travel. That's what we've budgeted in for them to make it in this particular scenario. So they can retire with $1 million at age 59 and 62 on a $70,000 a year basic living expenses or whatever it is they want to include in that. Plus they have a budget for their health care that's going to start out, I think, at around $10,000 for both of them year one. And then they can travel as well for $6,000 a year. So that's a pretty good, pretty respectable retirement at that age. So in conclusion, can you retire with $1 million? The answer is yes, you can, as early as 59 years old and live to age 90 with the proper pieces in place. We looked at how taking Social Security at age 70 in this particular couple's case was better for them. We noticed that they really do have a great lifestyle. In today's dollars, in 2024 dollars, they would have about a $90,000 a year budget when you factor in their medical cost and their travel. And so in addition to the $70,000 that we budgeted for their living expenses, this life is so short, and to weary ourselves out to gain wealth when we don't have to, I think is counter to someone with an eternal mindset. We want to store up treasures for ourselves in heaven, not here on earth. And I think in this situation, this couple looked like they're set to retire, not only to not run out of money, but also live comfortably and be able to contribute to their society and contribute to the world at large while they're in good health. I'm going to be putting out some more videos. So if you would please consider liking our video and subscribing to it. Additionally, I talked about annuities in this particular video. So if you want to learn more about annuities and financial guarantees, just go ahead and click on this video right here, where I will talk about financial guarantees and what you need to know about them. We go through a case scenario where someone was concerned about annuity they bought, and you can learn more about it in a real life situation. Until next time, this is Tommy Cloud on Sudden Wealth Stewardship Channel.